Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of Franchising with Vasa. Today, we're going to be looking at the Property Guys. Now, Property Guys is a private sale network portal for sellers wishing to save money and to sell their homes privately. Property Guys are not a real estate, nor are they brokers. Property Guys connects buyers and seller directly and provides sellers with all the tools required to successfully and confidently sell their property on their own. So we'll be back in a short moment to have a chat with Dean Ferreira, who is the CEO of Property Guys. So hello everyone and welcome back. Please hit the like and share button if you feel this is a good opportunity to share with someone who's interested in franchise opportunities or maybe interested in wanting to buy or sell a property. Please hit the like and share button and share this with friends and families who you feel would be interested. So joining us today is Dean Ferreira, who is the CEO of Property Guys. Dean has in excess of 18 years of real estate experience in the South African economy. Dean holds a degree from the University of Life, a business management diploma, CRS PPRE, and is also a qualified master property practitioner. Dean achieved his real estate license in 2005 and he purchased his first real estate franchise, Rawson Properties, and so the real estate career began. Previously also a Keller Williams Realty licensee, he is a multi-office investor together with his wife Estelle, and Dean has an interest in a real estate development, sales and marketing company, and has a passion for golf, cycling, travel, success, and growth. So hello and welcome, Dean. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Ramani. Thanks for that wonderful introduction. I appreciate the time. Thanks for the platform.
Excellent. Thank you. And welcome everyone again. Just please hit the like and share button if you feel this is something someone would be interested in. We are talking about Property Guys, property franchise opportunities. And so tell us, Dean, why Property Guys?
You know, Ramani, as you've quite rightfully said in the wonderful intro, I've been in the industry 18 years, and a few years ago, I was searching when the market was not doing what I thought it would do, and I was searching for an opportunity different to what I was currently doing at the time. And I felt that there would be a definite shift in the market, and I wasn't sure at that time either what that shift would be. And being involved in traditional real estate for so long, I just wanted to find the opportunity to bring something different to the market. And when I started searching on the international field, I found Property Guys, which is a private sale network connecting buyers and sellers to each other through a portal or through an offering or through a service which Property Guys offers, which is Canadian-based, and therein offering buyers the opportunity to buy at a lower base, but offering sellers a lot of opportunity to save money and commission when selling their home privately or on their own. And when I looked at this model intently, I found myself thinking this is definitely something that the South African economy can really introduce. And I started the process. And that was a process that was almost 3 years now that I started on that journey. And we finally closed that deal towards the middle of last year. So it's really still early days, but I do think that we've done the right thing. And it's offering the South African economy something different. And we've got the license to roll out this opportunity throughout Southern Africa. So it does include Namibia, Botswana, Mozambique, and Mauritius, which will be entering those markets in the not too distant future. So we're excited that we've managed to launch it successfully. And we really are looking forward to a great future that we can offer ourselves and for our country all together.
Yes, I have found that real estate, especially when you want to try and sell your property, the commissions can be rather high when you use an estate agent. I mean, I explored that exercise a few years ago and I was like, oh, goodness me, how much of this chunk of money am I actually giving away? I understand that they're doing advertising and understand they're taking their time, but still, it's quite a large chunk when you think about it. So even for myself, I'd probably want to explore the option of being able to sell that myself. What does that entail? Can you give us a little bit of an insight as to how that works?
Yeah, sure. So look, typically a real estate agent lives off of commission. That's how they earn their money. And I'm a real estate professional myself. I come from that industry and that background. But looking at it, so typically they earn a commission off the sale of a property. A real estate agent does a valuation for a seller. If the seller calls them and they say they'd like to sell their property, the message is that the real estate agent will introduce themselves, and they would charge something normally between 5 and 7.5% commission on the sale of the value of the property. And all processes, the estate agent would probably share commission with their broker or their owner or their company that they work for, and so it's watered down a little bit, and that's the reason why those commission values are so high. And that commission is also paid at the end of the transaction. So you might want to sell your home, for example, put yourself in the shoes of a seller, but you don't know when that house is going to sell, and it could sell in a year, and the estate agent would only earn that money at that point in time. With PropertyGuys, we offer a different service, completely different. It's a lot of it is online, and it's not real estate agent based. It's also offering a flat fee service for a homeowner. And that homeowner basically would interact directly with the buyer through the various systems that we offer, credit vetted, pre-approved, attorney profile, all of those things. And for a mere flat fee, and a client can select 4 different levels of that kind of service level, and benefit from the success of selling the home themselves and saving all of that huge commission by simply listing with PropertyGuys.com.
Interesting. A friend of mine recently sold her home and she did it privately, and she said she saved quite a bit doing it by herself. So let's talk a little bit about the franchise opportunity. So who would you say falls within the category of your ideal franchisee?
All right. Yeah, that's a good question, Romany. And the thing is, you can never pinpoint the ideal franchisee, right? Because a franchisee, every individual's got different skills. They've got different personality traits, but they do bring something special to the table every time that they engage and they take up the opportunity. And I think the biggest thing is ultimately, does an individual have the drive to succeed in business for themselves? I think that's what we're looking for. In PropertyGuys' life, we're looking for individuals that have got some sales background, definitely. We're looking for an individual that has got a high energy level. They're enthusiastic about what they do, and they're just enthusiastic about life. And they understand that at some stage they're going to have to do certain things which successful people do, and that's do things consistently every single day. And if a franchisee doesn't like the telephone, then they cannot and will not form part of PropertyGuys, because a large part of your job within PropertyGuys, it's property for that matter, is spent on the telephone. So we're looking for people that are not scared of the telephone, and somebody that's got a real clear vision about what they want for their life. I think that encompasses, if you want, a perfect franchisee.
And also, I guess they must be they enjoy working with people, because not everybody enjoys working with people.
Indeed.
So I imagine that would also fall in that category.
Indeed.
So now, asking a question, why? Okay, so you don't have estate agents. So how would the franchisee work into, what would they be doing if people are just able to go online and say sell their property online? How does that fit in?
Yeah. Interesting. Yes, I'll give you the background. So PropertyGuys is Canadian based. That's where it was founded, and their success, we're basically just rolling out in South Africa, and in actual fact, PropertyGuys are rolling that out around the world. So a typical day in the life of a franchisee is spent on the phone, and that's lead generating. So that's looking for looking for customers who want to sell their home, or looking for customers that are currently in the market and do want to sell and are selling their home through a number of different agents. So our franchisees do not necessarily hold a license in the form of a South African Fidelity Fund certificate. We don't purport to be estate agents, so we don't see them doing any real estate qualification, purely because they're not. We don't offer advice to sellers. Day in the life of a franchisee would go along the lines of finding out from a client if they would like to sell their home, and if we could offer them a service to sell their home themselves, would they be interested? It's very much like maybe you want to sell insurance. Somebody says, "Listen, I want to offer you an opportunity to look at insurance." Similar kind of opportunity. So we would go and we would introduce our services to the client, and the client would sign up on a advertising agreement with us, and we'd tell them and show them exactly what we're going to do for them to advertise their property to the market to get the buyer into their home. And yeah, that's really all the franchisee is going to do. There's a lot more. Lead generation can be. I mean, we can talk days and weeks on lead generation and the various methods and opportunities that you can gain success out of lead generation. But that's really what a franchisee will do most of their day, is phoning clients or driving their territory, finding out what properties are on the market, surfing the internet to see what properties are on the market, and trying to connect with sellers that. And by the way, we're looking for willing sellers. We're not looking for sellers who kind of want to test the market, because that's probably the biggest problem with real estate agents. Is they put properties on the market by I wouldn't say falsifying pricing, but they hope the property would sell if it's overpriced. They hope, but sometimes it's not going to happen. So what we want to try and commit to our sellers is that we want committed sellers who want to sell their property, and we use professional service providers to provide the correct advice to the homeowner to be able to arrive at the right price for them to realize a quick sale at the right price with minimum effort and saving them a whole lot of money. That's where our franchise is.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I was going to ask about the advice, because obviously some people would have advice and they would need questions, have questions answered. Thank you for answering that. So with regards to, what training would you be offering your franchisees? Do they need any tech skills, like having to upload things online? Would they be assisting clients that way? Or are people who wanting to sell their homes, just there's a method of going online and doing it?
Yeah, good question, Romney. So all of the above. Now, with us starting out, we I wouldn't say we're testing the waters. We are doing it slowly. So we've engaged with South African service providers to assist our franchisees. And in the near future, probably in the next quarter, we'll be moving over and switching over to the international portal, where everything can be done online, and a homeowner can actually do their own listing, for that matter, if they do. But to give you some example is that we have an internal what we call a resource center. So that's like a call center, for example, and that's manned sort of 16/8, so 16 hours a day. That call center is manned, and the franchisees would pay a portion of the income towards, or a monthly fee towards, that resource center to manage their diary, to manage their leads, to manage the listings. If the seller wants any questions or he wants his advert changed, he gets in touch with the resource center. If a buyer calls in and wants to view a property, it goes through the resource center. So everything's controlled centrally, and we run the business in that fashion. And as I say, once we get onto the international side in the next quarter, the seller will have opportunity to actually change their advert as they like. And we feed all of those adverts to all the property portals that are available in South Africa to make sure that they get maximum exposure. So there's very little that the seller needs to have in terms of tech. But the franchisee need to have some good tech skills too, because when you come towards finalizing agreements and those kind of stuff, we do that all online as well. So yes, I think in this day and age, anybody that doesn't have good tech skills, I think needs to get themselves upskilled. I think that's where the world is moving.
That is true. That is very, very true. So tell us something. How does the franchisee make money then?
That's an interesting question. So, yeah, how it works is for every advertising agreement that a seller signs up with a franchisee, they get a portion of that fee. So I mentioned earlier that there's 4 tiers in terms of the offering that we can offer to a seller, and starting at about 8,000 rand and ending at 60,000 rand. It's quite a wide tier model. The franchisee earns the majority of that money, and basically we as the franchisor, like most franchises, we charge a monthly advertising fee, and there's some monthly fees that we would get or receive or charge the franchisee. That's like the resource center, and then there's a small royalty of 7% on revenue. So inside of all of those flat service, inside of all of that flat fee is obviously service providers that need to be paid. People like the valuator, the photographer, the portals, the attorney, etc. And basically, the franchisee would end up roughly at about a 67% net of that.
Okay. Okay, that sounds quite good. So basically, this is a franchise opportunity that someone can take on. They need to be a people's person. They would obviously get an exclusive territory allocated to them. You offer them training. You would upskill them to learn how to use the various tech models. Am I still getting it right there?
Yeah.
What we talked about. And then, yes, it gives an opportunity for buyers and sellers, or for sellers to come online to have that opportunity to be able to sell their homes privately without the need for real estate. So your franchisees would be able to just guide them along in terms of showing them maybe how to upload if they get stuck, and then also point them in the right direction should they need to speak to a professional such as a legal expert. Do you have a panel in your team, or is it outsourced?
So all of our panel vendors have been locally sourced and been vetted. And at the moment, we've got one attorney on our panel, and they are a national brand. So we're quite confident that they can fulfill all the needs of all of our sellers around the country. And then, sorry, Romy, I just wanted to come back to our franchisees. You asked in the previous question about training for the franchisee. So if I may just answer that directly on that, is that we're not necessarily looking for real estate agents. Real estate agents are welcome to join our brand. They are welcome to sign up as a franchisee. There's no problem with that. But we're looking for those people that we were talking about earlier. And we've got, in COVID times, we've got a 3-day orientation program that we embark on. It's a full 3-day program of orientation, putting the franchisee into the understanding of what it takes to be a franchisee and what they do in the life of a PropertyGuys franchisee. But in normal day and times, outside of COVID, it's a 5-day full onboarding program. So they should come out of that, and they do come out of that period of orientation, knowing full well what the job entails. There's always an operationals Bible to go back on. There's always the resource center to talk to. So we're always around as a franchisor to be able to have a shoulder to lean on and to help them and nurture them to get to success quite quickly. So yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And that's all we got time for today. Okay. If you are interested in finding more about PropertyGuys, you can find them on the FASA website. I'm going to pop the link in the comment boxes below. And yes, you can visit FASA and find out more about how much it costs, what the training involves, and you can send Dean a message directly to find out what that franchise opportunity is all about. So in closing, I just want to remind everybody that FASA is here to protect, to lobby, promote, and develop ethical franchising across all sectors in South Africa with a specific focus on transformation. FASA aims are to ensure that its members practice the highest standards of ethics and fair business usage.